you can never solve a problem on the level on which it was created. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is at all comprehensible. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. Our task must be to free ourselves, by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. I'd rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist and right. We all know that light travels faster than sound. That's why certain people appear bright until you hear them speak. I never made one of my discoveries through the process of rational thinking. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. It would be possible to describe everything scientifically, but it would make no sense. It would be without meaning, as if you described a Beethoven symphony as a variation of wave pressure. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. We dance for laughter, we dance for tears, we dance for madness, we dance for fears, we dance for hopes, we dance for screams. We are the dancers, we create the dreams. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. A question that sometimes drives me hazy: am I or are the others crazy? Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up, but when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Everything must be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. It is not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the questions much longer. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Once you can accept the universe as matter expanding into nothing that is something, wearing stripes with plaid comes easy. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Try not to become a man of success, rather become a man of value. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Never memorize something that you can look up. I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. There are only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. 2 things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. We know from daily life that we exist for other people first of all, for whose smiles and well-being our own happiness depends. The ideals which have always shone before me and filled me with joy are goodness, beauty, and truth. We cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living, by its purely physical effect on the human temperament, would most beneficially influence the lot of mankind. When I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than any talent for abstract, positive thinking. Life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. The revolution introduced me to art, and in turn, art introduced me to the revolution. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. I believe in intuitions and inspirations. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble mind. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. What a sad era when it is easier to smash an atom than a prejudice. The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library.